Kia ora guys, welcome to Talking About Sports with Raman. Just giving an insight into the NRL Round 9 match in Brisbane. So the Suncorp Magic Round. It's across 3 days, Friday to Sunday. Fantastic games all around. Sharks, Eels. I picked that game between the Sharks and Eels, so it was fantastic to see the Sharks get the win and the dub there. Mitchell Moses was not able to be the Messiah and save the Eels from a Shark Fest. So, the Sharks played pretty well in the second half and was able to win that comfortably to win there. Now, the other game that I didn't actually tip, etc., but a last-minute pick was the Roosters and Dolphins. Roosters have been really up and down this season. They definitely have struggled to find form, but they're very hit or miss at the moment, and they are actually beating sides that are either in the top four or just on the cusp of the top eight. Look at the Panthers; they won there. The Dragons, on the cusp of the top eight. So they, are a side to definitely look out for, a dark horse team this season, 2.5 months in. So it's good to see Tedesco, the Roosters, get that win up, especially when you're picking them at last minute. The other games, Saturday night had 3 games. So to kick off, you had the Rabbitohs Knights. I did not expect the Knights to come out and absolutely whoop and thrash Wayne Bennett's side, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. I mean, come on, they just basically did not show up. They played piss poor, no effort all around the park, and the Knights basically ran riot all over the Rabbitohs. So in terms of that side of things, we move on to the next game. So between the Warriors and Cowboys. And for me, I picked the Warriors. 2 weeks prior to that, as well as the bye previous week, they have been on a roll. They won against the Tigers, had the bye, dropped the Melbourne Storm game. Then, they won comfortably at home, against the Broncos by 2 points. Then, they followed that win up against the Newcastle Knights in Christchurch the week after. And then just, the Saturday gone, 3 straight wins with the Cowboys. And, Luke Metcalf is really actually helping the Warriors to find their footing, especially with, Dallin out, Roger out, Rockaberry potentially out a little bit longer as well. And also Fish coming back in a week and a half's time. So, I'm really excited that potentially Dallin will be joining us, hopefully, for this round's match against the Dragons. And then next round, we receive a couple more players back. So, third place at the moment at the end of 10 weeks in the season. It's just fantastic. I'm actually really, really, really ecstatic. Because these wins so early on in the season are very crucial for our boys. And, it was a combined effort all around. I was glad to see, the halves score a try each. Basically both Metcalf and Chanel Harris-Tavita were controlling that game. And, Adam Pompey, just shows up. And, that first try that Edward Cossey scored for the team in the 11th minute, that was definitely some confidence going there. I think, at about, the 32nd minute, etc., that's when we started seeing the game going back and forth. But the Warriors actually were up 30 points to 12 going into the second half. And, 3 quick tries in the space of like 5 to 7 minutes from the Cowboys. Just very fortunate. I was basically screaming at the screen. I was like, do something, boys, tackle hard. Cowboys, if they got 30 all, they would have most likely sent it to golden point, or either golden point, or they would have kicked that conversion. So fantastic try save from Luke Metcalf in the corner there to save the Warriors the game. And it's these nitty gritty wins for the Warriors that are definitely showing chemistry, but also just leadership across the park. Someone else is definitely stepping up to the table, and I think talks have been early on. It's going to be a tough month coming up. Dragons, Rabbitohs, Raiders, then Panthers. So there's going to be some tough games along the way. But, if we can continue to win comfortably, but also just hold the composure, our third headout in Australia, away from home is the Dragons, starting Saturday night, 7:30. So that will be our third actual proper game away from a home venue. Suncorp, I know it's in Australia, but it's classed as a home game for the Warriors. Interesting enough. And surprisingly enough about the Warriors, going into the Suncorp, they actually were sitting 17th on the teams ladder of teams that have a win succession rate at Suncorp. So very interesting to break that hoodoo and to get a win on there to increase some stats. So in other news, the other game, the Tigers-Dragons, that went down to the wire. The Dragons blew that. I mean, seriously, he dropped the ball on the goal line, and I think the Dragons just lost momentum ever since there. And, Tigers have been, up and down, but they look like a side that is definitely on the rise and wanting to get that top 8 spot. Anything from bottom place to a few positions up the ladder is definitely an improvement for the Tigers this season under Benji Marshall and the new recruits from Panthers as well as teams all across the competition. So 3 games on Sunday. You had the Titans, Bulldogs. Great that I picked the Bulldogs on that. Titans have just been in dire shreds. A very young outfit. You've got a lot of going on with David Fafita, what's happening there? Is he being axed? Is he staying on? Being pay cut? All the side of things. So you're not getting the best out of him. And personally, I feel like you haven't got the best out of David Fafita for a very long time. So Titans will definitely need to think some ideas around that. But no, it's good to see Tino Fuso Umalatali. I always struggle to pronounce his name. Fantastic player. And he's, been good with the Titans so far. And I think, for each team, you always had that marquee player or a few players in your squad that you definitely have marquee players for. The Dogs got up. They won that comfortably. And then he moved into the other 2 games. Panthers-Broncos. That was another game I did not expect the Panthers to win that. Broncos at home at Suncorp. You'd think that they, based on their record of playing Suncorp, their home stadium, they would show up to their fans, but Nathan Cleary was just on another level. And Panthers just seem to be a bit like the Roosters this season, win a few games, lose a few, and then win one, lose one. They're back climbing the ladder. I feel like we have not seen the end of the Panthers this season, and they are just starting to find their footing, and with a slow start, but they could be potentially just on the cusp. And for them, sneaking into the top 8, even if it's positions from 5 to 8, it will still be great for them because they want to play finals footy. The final game, Canberra, Golden Point. I am actually happy for Canberra in the end. A coach like Ricky Stewart, I could definitely vouch and say that would be me on the sidelines watching, a full 80 minutes game and supporting my boys and my team rather than sitting in the coach's box. He loves it. He loves the atmosphere. He just loves to be on the field, get the best out of his players. And, Melbourne Storm, that was their game to lose. I do feel very unfortunate. There was, a potential penalty option for Melbourne just before the full time, before Golden Point. I tipped Melbourne to win that. I did. I'll just put my hand up there. They were the favourites. It's going to be really interesting this coming week. There's so many games that are going to be really close, really hard to pick. But, we go again. Round 11, here we come. Round 10, here we come. And, let's go. Let's see what it's all about. Almost 3 months into the competition. I cannot believe it. It's gone so quick. But it's been fantastic. Ka kite, guys. Cheers.